Yo, you're in the studio with Leon Switch, and today I thought we could do like a track walkthrough on my track Into the Deep. It's a track I had quite a few messages about after I released it, and up until the release of it as well. It was one that sort of stood out in my mixes apparently, and people always commented on. So yeah, it's super cool. It's one of my favourites. I really love the tune. I really love the feeling it gives. The kind of way it sort of grabs my sort of heart, as it was, you know. So yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, when I went to launch the tune, it loaded, and I've got all the parts to the song, but some of the plugins, I've lost some of the plugins over time. They're either old plugins or whatever. I did the tune quite a long time ago, and I've redone my system since doing the tune. So I'm afraid it's going to be a little bit flat, maybe sounding at the end of it. And what I then thought was, what we could do instead of a walkthrough, we could now do a walkthrough plus do a mixdown and redo like a mixdown on the tune, so we can get the levels together and just get a rough mix on the go. I can show you exactly how I would approach the tune if I was to be mixing it down again, you know. So yeah, I'm not looking to process the track any further. I'm not looking to do anything apart from just get like a good a headphone mix on the go, so you can see my approach to it anyway. So yeah, without further ado, definitely go down there, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave some comments, do all that kind of stuff, and yeah, thank you ever so much for your support. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let's jump to it. Big up. Okay, so here we are in Ableton, and my tune Into the Deep is loaded up onto the arrangement there. And when I first loaded it up, I had a load of plugins that were missing. So I figured it would be a good chance when I pressed play on it. It didn't sound right at all. Didn't sound. The levels were all over the place. So I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to do the mixdown, redo the mixdown. Maybe not redo the mixdown exactly how it was, because that will never happen. But we'll have a look, and we'll drop all the levels, and I'll show you how I approach the mixdown in general. So yeah, without further ado, I'll give this a little play, and you can see where we're sounding at the moment. I will come to here, just so you can see that the levels are all pretty much where they were when I mixed it down originally. But yeah, problems. But that's what happens when you do tunes a while back and then you try to go back into them. These things happen. Anyway, let's give it a play. So this is Kuro008. You guys know this tune now. I just thought it might be interesting to you guys to be able to see the individual channels, see what went on with the tune. And the mix is going to be all over the place. Right, we'll let it drop, and then we'll stop it. It doesn't sound terrible, but there's definitely a few things missing there. Plugin wise, you know. There you go. So you know the tune. I just had to listen to that bit. I was so chuffed with myself when that happened. So let's break it down. Let's have a look. So let's go to the intro, and we'll start just with the very basics. So if I come to the mixer page, it'll be easier for us. And I've got an intro group, and I always have groups. It's how I work with my mixing. I think it's easier long term. I normally process the group. after I've processed all the channels individually as well. So I'll normally give it a bit of compression, some like maybe a touch of reverb if it's like this group where it's like the intro group, you know. So yeah, it just makes life easier, because normally when I'm working on an intro, like the balance is sounding all right because there's not that many elements. So before I've started mixing, I'm kind of almost happy with how the levels are on that on the intro. So then when I come to mix the whole tune down afterwards, I don't want to adjust all those levels individually. I mean, don't get me wrong, occasionally you'll get into a tune and then you'll bring the pads in with the tune, and one of the pads is way too loud. You know, that just happens, in which case, okay, we'll mix the thing down a little bit more. But in general, that with having the control over the group, I can literally just drop all of the levels in one hit, and it's not adjusted any of the individual channel levels. It's such a easy and good way of working, and it means you can work on sections of your tune at once. You know, you can just I group all my mid-range basses together, I group all my drums together. It just gives me a bit more processing, so I can process the group a bit more, but it also just allows me to, when I come to mix down, makes my life a bit easier. So what I will do is I will Control A, and I think if I click in here actually and I Control A, Shift. All right, let me just come all the way to the end here. There we go. And so we've got every channel selected, and we'll literally just drop the levels on everything. There you go. So everything is now at 0. Which is where I would normally start. So we know that the intro group, we're gonna basically bring that up to 0. So we've got somewhere to start with it, and then we're gonna mix now. We're gonna bring up these other pads and whatever else is in the intro. We're gonna bring it up to not together, but we're gonna bring it up individually and get a level on it. What I'm aiming for is -6 dB on the master. That won't be applicable so much on the intro. But we'll get an idea, you know. So I'm not gonna add any more reverbs. I'm not gonna add any more processing to the tune. We're literally just gonna try and mix it down a little bit more as it is now. So it's not gonna sound massively pretty at the end, but it will give you the process, you know. So right, so now I've dropped all the levels. What we can do is we can now, this one here needs to come up as well. It's another group within the group. So that's my intro misc parts. I've then got pads. I've got a lead. I've got a bass hit. So these are all part of the intro. So what we'll start with is we'll grab the pad group, we'll turn that up to full, because we can adjust these afterwards if we want to, and we'll just come back to here and we'll loop it over this intro. I have flattened everything, which is why everything is audio, and that's just because I'm running OBS at the same time as Ableton, and I get nothing but clicks if I don't do that, which can be a pain in the rear end. So I want to go from here to the start. There we go, and that should be my whole intro. So I'll loop that, Control L, and then we can start bringing up these parts. You know, in fact, if I come to here, we can see that this starts. So we've now got everything involved there. So we'll now just loop it over that, and we'll start to bring these levels up pretty slowly. That is really lovely. Not so smooth on the loop, but it's lovely. The choir up. So I kind of picture things when I'm mixing down a tune. I kind of picture where I want things to be sitting. So the choir, I kind of want to come sort of from behind and just sort of sit behind everything. I love the idea of that. So I'm going to bring that down a touch, just so that it sits. It's just there, you know. I turn it off, you can see it's missing, but when it's turned on, it's just part of that sound, you know. Right. Sorry. Nice, it's almost like a wave. What I'll do is you can hear all the parts then, sorry. Oh, is it wire channel? Nice, and what I'll do is actually I'll just play this from the top here so that you can see, you can hear like how the progression works of the channel, if you see what I'm saying. So we start with nothing at the beginning here. And this channel, this came from VCV Rec. That's me playing with these no grid loops and just sort of trying to get sort of evolving atmospheres happening, and then just sampling the whole lot in one go. Loads of reverb. No bottom end. So if we play that from the top again now with the first pad, just as you can hear the intro here. I love that floating. Really lovely. Bring that choir in. Nice. I might even bring that up a little bit. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, let's go for the sadness pad. Let's hear what this is saying. I'm gonna solo that. So that you can hear what this noise is. It's another one of those kind of VCV style. So how's that sounding as a whole? Nice, I don't feel like anything's sticking out. But they sound like one unit, you know, together without the VCV Rec one in there. But no weight again. And I'll slowly bring this VCV Rec in. Lovely. Okay. Have a look. Where's this dark pad? Where does this start? So this starts at the beginning here. So let's come to the beginning again, and we'll let that loop. We'll just slowly bring this in. There you go, I'll solo that quickly. You can hear what it's doing. nothing there apparently. There we go. There you go. Use that pad a lot. You can just sort of feel it in the back, well not feel it, you can just sort of hear it in the background there. It's like a bit of a... Nice. Okay, there's the next one, the bass hit. So that's just going to accent that when that drops into that change. Okay, we've got the lead. Start. So there we go, it's that stab. Nice. Okay, so we'll move on. We've got the drum group here. Let's turn the volume up on that because it's the group. We've got hats from the main kit. We've got cymbals and we've got a ride. So let's start with the ride here. And then the ride fades out. In fact, we'll start with the hats. That would make more sense, really. This will obviously change once the main kit comes in. Right, cymbal's not in yet. The ride's going to come in a minute, so. I'll tell you what we'll do, it'll make our lives easier, is we'll go to the drop and we'll then mix our drums from the drop. And then we can come back and then mix them to the intro again. Okay, once again, we're looking here for the on the master level here for sort of -6. So we can bring that up a touch. And have another look at these sounds now. Cool. Nice. Nice. I might bring that down a touch and possibly that one as well. Nice. Okay, so let's have a look at these now. Let's bring in these, find out where the cymbals need to sit. Let's find out what's going on this page. We've got a cymbal here. Hey, if I click at the beginning, that'll help, wouldn't it? Green. Nice. Okay, and then we've got the sub. Bring the sub in slowly. Once again, we're keeping an eye sort of on this -6 dB. We'll know once the energy starts to push the level up, and we'll know that that will be, you know, we'll start to have to look at it then. solo that sub, shall we? Not the prettiest sub in the world. We're just starting to head above that -6. Nice. Right, this next section, there's more of the intro comes back in. So that sort of the high pitch sort of style. Here we go, not these, sorry, up here. Like the more high pitch string that was sort of fading in, that needs to come up. So that was here. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one there. Yeah, that's nice. Where are we? Cymbal sounds good, everything's there. Nice. So all we're really missing now is this mid-range. We've got sections over here that we need to look at in a second. In fact, we could even... That's really nice. Right, ride cymbal. Really simple little pattern. So I'm listening for the relationship between the hi-hat and the ride, and also where that cymbal sits against it as well. Also where the snare's sitting in comparison to the ride. That's quite nice. So let's see how that's sitting now with regards to the rest of the tune. I actually think that's too loud. Once all the tune's in, I don't want it to be like a massive look at me sort of sound, you know, it just wants to be a ride cymbal in there. That's all. Right, let's balance these pads out a little bit. Oi. That sadness pad is lovely. Do its first pad. Almost exaggeratedly loud, you know? Right, then we've got the choir. Let's bring that in. Cool. So let's now drop all of the intro group. That sub's dirty, but I kind of like it. What up? Nice. Balance there is quite nice in the headphones anyway. Let's bring this in slowly. So we're starting to lose everything there a little bit. So you kind of getting this idea that we're just trying to balance, just get this right there sitting here, you know. What I would also like to do with this is I want to separate these, so because as you can see that we've got the pad group here, and then we've got these other parts here. So I want to turn the pad group off for a second, and I want to listen to how these parts are sitting with the drums, and then we'll do the same. We'll mute these off, and then we'll do the same with we'll listen to how they're sitting with the drums. I think that would be a good move forward, and it gives us some more idea on, okay, those noises are just too loud. They sound too loud within that situation, you know. Okay, so I actually think there's a little bit of a problem here with this. I think there's too much weight in that. So I think what I am going to do is I'm just going to EQ a little bit of that out. I feel like it's just bottom ending just a little bit. And with the sub as well, like I don't feel there's any need for it to be maybe that. We've got two choices. So we could now sidechain it to the sub, or we could lose some of the weight out of it. And I like the sound of it in the intro, because I like having that bit of sub, that bit of weight in the intro, but I just don't like it against the sub. It's a bit confusing, I think. Let's just play the two. Here we go. So let's solo that bass hit, and let's solo the sub. Yeah, that's pretty ugly. Let's lose some of this out of this bass hit. Okay, and let's now turn the sub off, and let's listen to how this sounds on its own now. It's actually quite an ugly noise now, listen to it in headphones, you know. But there, it's alright. It's just those low parts. So let's listen to that. Let's see how that's sounding. So that could come up a little bit maybe. Bring up the ugly noise. It kind of works in the context of everything, you know? Cymbal sounds nice. We've lost that conflict now. Okay. What's this pad saying? Nice. It's not a lead pad. Okay, cool. So let's drop the level on these now, and let's bring these in. Still feel it wants to be a bit louder. This, I kind of, with this pad group, I kind of want it just to be almost euphoric, you know, almost like too much, but in the same light, I want the production to stay fucking nice as well, you know. So yeah, so it's one of those where it's a bit, oh, man. See, that's sort of kills it. It's a little bit too loud. As silly as it sounds, you know? So I'll just drop the drums a little bit there. Ride's getting on my nerves a little bit. Feels better. I like it without the mid-range, you know. Kind of feel like it could just work. Okay. Let's see how that rolls into the next section. Nice. Okay, so let's make a start on this mid-range. So what we're going to do is we're just going to group it around this first section here. In fact, we're going to group it around this first section here because this is when it first drops. And I think that'll be an easier place for us to start. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to solo this group and we are going to just start to introduce these mid-ranges so we can hear what's going on. So the group volume is all the way up at 0 for the second, and then we can get a balance on the group, on the mid-range here, and then we can come back to that in a second, and then overall balance all of them together. Right, let's just get it playing and let's see what it's saying. What we could do is because of the nature of what it is, we could just highlight them all, bring them all up together a little bit, see how we're sitting. So I'm going to bring these up till we reach that -6 dB thing. Then I'm going to bring the overall level down a touch. That one might be a little bit loud. Nice. Okay, so let's see how that is sounding against everything. Let's bring the level all the way down on the group now, and let's see. So I'm listening to the relationship between the snare drum now and those mid ranges, and just seeing sort of level wise, sort of feeling where they want to be sort of sitting. I think once the mid range becomes louder than the snare, then I'll have to drop it back. But I don't want that snare sticking out like a sore thumb. So let's get rid of this. There we go. Make it a bit prettier. Alright, let's make group. This is way loud, this one. It's nice. That was better. So let's have a look at these now. So we've also got this bass hit here, which is happening. We've got this dark pad, which is nice, and this what I've called lead, which isn't blatantly not a lead, but and then we've got the mid group. So let's play them together. Yeah, that sounds quite nice. There's a side of me that's tempted to bring up that lead hit a little touch. Seems to sit a bit nicer. Nice, so let's hear that all together. Nice. So we've now got this phrase part where we lead into this kind of bridge. So let's go to here. That one there. Pads come in. Right, so this is what we're looking at this time. There's these two here. I think I'm gonna boost them a little bit because it's like the highlight. I take it back. I'm going to bring that down again. Yeah, that totally works. Oh, I think that sounds lovely. I don't know what's going on with my play and start and stop and stuff. Not liking me. Okay, this next section, we've got a new part. We've got the Reese. Yeah, either those mid-range are just way too loud, or the pads and that need to really come up, because that it sort of lost the euphoria sort of feel about it, you know. Let's listen to that again. Right, let's undo that, sorry, because I've just basically brought the levels up on these. So what I want to do is I want to grab just add this one here. I just want to boost the volume on this a little touch. So let's grab like a utility. That will give us a bit more room. There we go. And we can now gain stage it a bit further. So far so good. Loop it over here for a second. Let's play with the balance on these pads again. Nice. Just need to loop it. That's the whole tune, just there. I think those mid-range may be too loud, you know, but it's my tune. Okay, so I mean, there you have it. That's all of the channels. No, I'm lying to you. There is one more channel here that we've missed out. I need to go back in. I apologize. Here. Okay, so this is like that. This is like a reese in the background. If I turn that up, little synthy reese, really. Not really like a nasty reese, you know. Nice bit of reverb on there. So let's drop the level on that, and let's now bring this in slowly. There you go. You can start to hear the fizz on the reese. Without it. Maybe even a little bit more. Right, I'm literally just going to turn my headphones off for a second and listen to it through the speakers. So I'm going to mute the microphone and literally we'll listen to it there. There we go. So yeah, I'm not 100% on the sure on how the mix actually turned out in the end, real world sort of style, but anyway, you got to see me mix down the tune. You know how it's supposed to sound. You know how it's a tune with 25 channels. So yeah, that gave you an insight as to how I approach the mix, where I start, where I stop. What we'll do is we'll just play in very quickly from the start here. Oh, sorry, I also covered things like what I'm looking for, how I'm listening to this, or what I'm listening for. So like the snare drum and the mid range, and little bits and pieces like that. You know, they're all little bits and pieces that I think can just help. When you come to do this kind of stuff, because you got that relationship there, and once you get used to how that relationship should sit, then yeah, definitely. I need to get some new headphones because these ones, they don't sound good. They never sounded good. They're perfect for DJing because they're loud as hell, but they're not nice sounding headphones. So I apologize on how the mix is sounding. Also, like I said, I lost a load of plugins out of the mix. The EQs are probably all over the place for the whole tune. You know, I know there's some compressors missing and stuff like that. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. It was an insight into how I do my mixdowns. And also a track walkthrough for the Into the Deep. You know, it was one that a lot of people sort of hit me up about, and they quite liked it. And also, it's one of my favourites ever. I love it. I love the tune. Yeah, it was one of those where you sit back afterwards and you go, yeah, that kind of grabs me a little bit. I like that, and that's what it's about for me. So yeah, much love. I like to say I will play this just from the start, and I'll let it drop. We'll get to we'll play it to the mid section, and then we'll give it a fade out. Let's go, let's hear it. Nice one. Thank you once again for joining me. I hope that has been insightful and helpful, and you've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed seeing what went into the deep, you know, behind the scenes as it was, or just the track walkthrough really. And there we go. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope that has helped, given you an insight as to how I mix down my tunes, about the groups and stuff like that. Wicked. Right, I'm gonna fade it here. Oh, we looped. There you go. If that's not an excuse as any, then I don't know what is. Big up, much love, and I will catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that stuff, you know. It's really important to the channel, and it kind of helps everything go along. We've also got memberships on the go now as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be on this regularly. I'm going to be doing more track walkthroughs and other bits and pieces like that. A lot of sound design, a lot of studio just sessions, you know, where I just sit here and I make sounds, I work on what I work on. And we'll go from there. Definitely. I'm sure there'll be some perks for the members. We'll do a few free sample packs and that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely. I hope that, I hope we can get all this running and regular and create a bit of a community with it. Definitely. Big up, much love. Thanks ever so much again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Big up.